This is a story about Pamela, a real life story. Pamela was a city girl through and through, with a perfectly manicured nails and a skincare routine that rivaled those of celebrities. She was the epitome of urban glamour, but beneath her flawless exterior lay a heart filled with selfishness and disdain. For everything that disrupted her comfortable lifestyle, she doesn't like it. One fateful day, she met a man named Michael. He was charming, handsome, and utterly smitten with Pamela. However, there was a shadow that loomed over their budding romance. Michael's mother had passed away, leaving him in the care of his grandmother, who lived in a remote village. Despite Pamela's reluctance, Michael insisted on introducing her to his grandmother. Reluctantly, Pamela agreed to accompany him on the journey to the village. But she couldn't shake the feeling of annoyance and inconvenience. It was written all over her. She was not happy. At the arrival of both of them in the village, Pamela's disdain only grew. She found herself resenting Michael's grandmother for simply existing. She didn't do anything. She loved her, tried to care for her. With each passing day, Pamela's laziness became more apparent. She refused to lift a finger. She claimed to be a self-made slave queen. So she couldn't lift a finger. She didn't do anything around the house, leaving Michael's grandmother to toil away alone. Driven by a selfish desire and a growing sense of entitlement, Pamela hatched a sinister plan. She had something in mind coming. She sought out an herbalist, confessing her hatred for Michael's grandmother and a desire to rid herself of the inconveniences once and for all. She thought that's the best thing to do. The herbalist listened intently. The babalawo, in his eyes glaring with malice, as Pamela details her plan of killing the grandmother. She wanted a substance more like a poison. With a sinister smile, he handed a vial of a dark liquid, promising that it would solve all her problems. She went home with the liquid. On getting home, Pamela danced with so much excitement. She was so happy. She began treating the grandmother with so much care and love because she had a plan. She already had the poison with her. So the herbalist told her, before you poison her, you have to be very nice, show care, positivity, take care of her, so that when she finally dies, not even Michael, nor the neighbors will suspect you. So you're going to kill her slowly. And this poison given to Pamela by the herbalist is a slowly acting poison that is going to eat Pamela's grandmother up slowly, killing her organs, her tissues, her cells, before finally taking her life. So she's going to die, but slowly. Pamela was so excited. Her smile was glaring. The joy was eternal. She felt like she had finally survived. She finally had a way to break. It was like the only obstacle between her unending love story was the whole woman. Oh, Pamela. Pamela's pretentious attitude continues for a couple of days. The whole woman was surprised, called the son into the room and said, "My son, why is Pamela suddenly nice to me? I don't feel good. Why is she all of a sudden taking care of me and doing things in the house?" This is the end of part 1. This is a story about Pamela, part 2. Pamela clutched the vial of poison, from the herbalist, her mind racing with dark intentions. She arrived back at Michael's grandmother's house, masking her true feeling with a facade of kindness. Over the next few days, she made a show of helping around the house, preparing meals, and tending to the whole woman's needs. Her sudden change in behavior caught the grandmother by surprise. The whole woman, who has been used to Pamela's indifference, responded with warmth and gratitude. Slowly, an unexpected bond began to form between them. Pamela, determined to keep up appearances, added drops of the poison from the vial into the grandmother's food each day. She wanted her to die slowly, as this was the preparation given to her by the herbalist. All the while, she started treating her with increasing amounts of care and respect so the whole woman wouldn't know. And this continued. The grandmother was now touched by Pamela's newfound kindness and pretense because she didn't know. So the whole woman started sharing stories of her past, folk tales, memories, her eyes lighting up with memories and love. Pamela listened, genuinely interested for the first time. She found herself laughing and giggling at the whole woman's anecdotes, and also told her how Michael was raised. And feeling a strange warmth in her heart, Pamela started loving the whole woman. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months, and Pamela's feelings began to change. The grandmother, Michael's grandmother, genuine gesture, gentle nature, and wisdom touched her deeply. Pamela started to dread. The moment the poison would take effect, she became scared. She found herself staying up at night, tormented by the guilt and growing affection for the whole woman. One night, she was tormented and did not want her to die anymore. Unable to sleep any longer and to bear it, Pamela rushed to the herbalist's hut, tears streaming down her face. "I can't do this. I can't do this anymore," she cried. "I don't want her to die. Please. Is there any way to undo this? Is there any way to stop the poison?" Pamela screamed and cried to the herbalist. The herbalist looked at her with a calm smile. "What I gave you was not poison," he replied softly. "It was a blend of vitamins. I realized that your true problem was not the whole woman, but your negative attitude and mindset." Pamela stared at him in shock, her emotions a wild wind of relief and confusion. She replied, "Vitamins, but why?" "Sometimes a change in perspective is all we need," the herbalist replied. "And it seems you have found that change." Overwhelmed with gratitude, Pamela thanked the herbalist and hurried back home. She was filled with a new sense of purpose and love for Michael's grandmother. But as soon as she entered the house, she found Michael sitting on the table. His face was pale and his eyes red from crying. "What's wrong?" Pamela asked, her heart pounding. Her blood pressure was incredibly high. She could feel the palpitations from her heart. Michael looked up at her, anguish in his eyes. "The doctor just called me. Grandmother has cancer. They say she has only 6 months to live." Pamela would crumble around her. She sank to her knees, tears streaming down her face. All this time, she had been so focused on her own selfish desire, and she didn't even notice the signs and symptoms. She wept, wishing she could somehow change the diagnosis. The grandmother, Michael's grandmother was diagnosed of colon cancer at the community local health center. In the following days, Pamela devoted herself entirely to Michael's grandmother. She refused to leave her side, even when Michael suggested that they both return to the city. Her bond between the two of them grew even stronger as they faced the impending loss together. Pamela's transformation was complete. She had learned the true meaning of love, compassion, and selflessness. She knew she couldn't save the grandmother from the illness. Michael's grandmother passed 5 months and 2 weeks after she realized this, and she was laid to rest in their family compound in the village. Pamela would be so sad but had to leave and move on with her life. As the month passed, the whole woman's wisdom and love still remained in her heart. Pamela changed for the better. She promised to take care of Michael and love him with all her life, and also teach true virtues to our children unborn. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to our channel for more stories like this.